Yes, you found my channel. I'm so excited. If you're catching me on the Facebook Live, come on in. Come on in. Get yourself a cocktail and come on in. Also, come on in with some notes. Notebook, paper, pen. You're going to want to take some notes. This video is about, is he a husband or is he a bachelor? How to tell, and how to manifest the man who wants commitment. Boom! I am Lisa Concepcion, certified professional love life coach and founder of lovequestcoaching.com, where you can go skip all this BS of this video and go get yourself a love life assessment right over there at lovequestcoaching.com, where you tell me all that's going on in your love life and I give you insights and answers specifically to your questions about love. So, for those who choose to stick around and watch this video, I'm going to get into it. How to decide and tell, is he a husband or is he a bachelor? It's very important that you distinguish the two. Very important. You can learn from my lessons. This is what I do. I go and I live my life, and then I learn a bunch of stuff, and then I go and I bring it into my coaching practice so that I save people time and energy. Time and energy. So I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. The year is 2015, and I was divorcing, right? So 2015 was my big year of getting divorced and just healing myself from a very, very dark, low, awful place in my life. At the end of that, months and months and months and months later, I came out the other side of the depression and the anxiety and the awful and the low self-worth and just the awfulness that comes when you are divorcing at any time. For me, it was midlife. I was 44, 45 years old. Awful. So I came out the other side. I ended up curing myself of codependency, something I struggled with. Didn't even know what the word meant until I was 45 years old. Found myself in the deepest shit pit of life. Horrible. Lost my truest love, bestest friend, my college sweetheart, first half of my life. Like the love of my life, first half of my life. Horrible. And I ended up, like, even my dog died. Like, it was terrible. But when I built myself up from that, I said, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start dating again. This was like, 8 months, almost a year after. I wanted to really allow myself the time to heal. I'd highly recommend that. I did a divorce detox. Amazing. And now I help people do the same thing. But my thing was that I really had to heal from codependency because I didn't want to show up in my relationships the same way that I was always showing up, which was this neediness and this anxious attachment and the need to control outcomes. Everything had to be just the way I needed it in order to feel safe and secure. Terrible. So I wanted to handle that, and I finally did. And then it changed my life because now I do it for other people. But here's what happened. I went into another relationship. And because I was just out of a relationship, a divorce, a marriage, I was like, I'm not ready to get married again. I just want to hang out and have fun and just, meet somebody cool that I could be with only him and he can only be with me, and it's totally cool, right? So I manifested that man. And I got really specific about what I wanted. Really super specific. I made a list, and I would go every day and visit with the list, and I would read everything that I put on it, and then I tweak it, and then I'd imagine this wonderful person and all the fun we were gonna have together. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is gonna be amazing. And then I met him. I manifested him. So I work with law of attraction, law of vibration. I love studying the universal laws and applying them in my life to manifest different things. And so in this case, when it comes to men, honey, I have the lock on manifesting great men. I do. And I help people that I coach manifest their ideal people. And it even works for guys. I tell my guy clients how to manifest their ideal woman, and we work it out together where they are vibing on a level where she comes in. So it's really cool, right? And it's fun work. and it doesn't have to be frustrating and annoying. So I go into this relationship, and at that time, in that vibrational frequency that I was in, I attracted a guy who met me at my energetic level, which was, I'm not ready to be married again. I just was married 17 years. Why I don't want to get married again? I want to just get into a relationship that's no games, just nice, you and me, nice. Okay, so I manifested that. And that relationship went on for 4.5 years. And it was fun and it was good. And we had like this really good friendship and we had fun times. We did like really cool stuff together and it was amazing. So I said, okay, here's the thing. We're like in love with each other now. So now what happens? What happens next? What do we do next? Right? We have this thing. We're committed to each other. Nice. Loyal. But the thing was this. He was loyal, but he wasn't committed. And because I was in a vibrational frequency where I was like, I don't want to get married again, I attracted a guy who was anti-married. And he would say it throughout the relationship. And it had me second guessing it too. Like, I don't know if I want to get married again. I was already married. I don't need to do that again. But then I was like, wait a second. I got stronger into my faith. And I said, I think it would be kind of nice to see how I can be as a wife to someone how I am now. Because when I was wife the first time, honey, I was like 27 years old. 27 till 39, I was a hot mess, disaster. It was like the perfect relationship situation to help me heal all the crap I had to heal from childhood. That was like my entire marriage. I joke around with my ex-husband all the time because we're friends, and I say, you know, I honestly showed up, I would say 80% of my marriage with you, I was 9 years old. No, it's a problem. When you're codependent, you are like arrested development. You're looking at your spouse like a parent. Ridiculous. Like, they should put all these limitations on you and like have you behaving a certain way. You're like trying to get the love that you didn't get from your parents, from the spouse. It's a disaster, mess. And that's what codependency is all about. It's trying to look outside into other people and other situations to give you the healing that you actually need to do and work on for yourself. So I help people with this. It's insidious. You need to get help with it. If you're codependent, do not delay. Like, stop this video, go to Love Quest Coaching, do this love life assessment. Don't even bother watching this. You can like save it and come back to it if you think it's funny and like the way I deliver my stuff. It's funny. I don't know. Whatever, people say that. They're like, you're so funny. I'm like, hey, really? I'm kind of talking about like serious things. They're like, no, but the way you talk about it is funny. You're very New York and whatever. I guess, I don't know. The delivery makes it funny. But anyhow, so I had kind of a problem because I'm in this relationship 4.5 years. 4.5 years, no ring. And now I'm just like, wait a second. In the beginning, I didn't really care about a ring, nothing. I was just like, oh, let's have fun. But then when you invest your time and you invest, energy, and you're like, whoa, like I want to build something with somebody. I want to, you start to have like a newfound curiosity for how you can show up in a relationship. Because the first relationship, like I said, codependent. Now, healthy, amazing. Like, I wonder what I could be like, in a life build, merged lives kind of situation, how I am now. So I got more and more curious about that. And then I got connected more to my faith. And then I'm just like, I want like a God-focused relationship, like a God-centered relationship. Like, here's you, and you have alignment with God, and then here's me, and I have alignment with God. And then like we come together and we have this like God-focused relationship. Like, we are going to come together and do magical things for the planet. Like, that's what I want next in my life. So I had to apply the same techniques that I do with my clients for manifesting a man and helping them manifest women and men. And I did it myself again. I went back to the drawing board. I allowed some time to like process my last relationship, and like, there's like some fallout and residual weirdness that you feel a little out of sorts after you break up. Whether you're the one being broken up with or you break up, it's bad no matter what. You feel like your whole life was this thing, and then it shifts, and you have to like allow some time to like get into that new life, that new way of you, right? So I allowed for that, but then was like, okay, universe, if you think I'm ready to date again, and I'm just gonna kind of go out there and have fun and live my life, do my thing, I definitely want to be specific about who is going to approach me, who is going to vibe with me. And that is something that's very important. People go out there and they like don't set intentions. So then they go out in the world and they're single and they're just like attracting by default. They're not intentional. They're not saying, this is what I want in my life. This is where I am in my life. This is exactly the kind of person who would be most appropriate to be by my side right now at this juncture in my life. People don't do that. So they go out and then like anybody comes up to them and they're not aware. They're not like intentional. So I got really intentional. That's so intentional. And I basically took like all the great qualities from my ex-husband, all the great qualities from my ex-boyfriend, my most recent ex-boyfriend, right? And I started to write them all down. And I got in such a high vibe and I'm sending them love. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for this. I'm like a box of tissues. I'm like, oh, I remember that. Okay, I'm gonna put that down. And I was like totally cathartic, like feeling these two beautiful men and other guys too that I knew, you know, qualities of every great guy I've ever known. And I'm like putting it on the list and I'm like laughing and crying and just like had a glass of, vodka soda. And I was just like, this is awesome. And I'm like feeling good, writing this down and just like purging emotion. It was lovely. But then when I was done, I had this nice long ass list, very specific of where I am now and what I'm looking for now. So then I finished my little Tito's and soda, splash of cranberry and a lime. And I'm sipping it. I'm sitting in my kitchen. I'm like loving my life, reading about this beautiful man that I just poof manifested onto the page. Now I'm like, holy shit, that means this guy exists, right? Because if I can get him from the infinite of the nothingness and then through me onto the page, that means he exists. God does not put a desire in our hearts that we cannot have in reality. So I let go of the outcome of this man. I said, he exists. He exists. If I think him up, that means he exists. So I'm just going to go live life. I'm going to go have fun. I'm going to go eat good food, go to good places, check out my new town that I live in now, Sarasota, Florida, and spend time with the dog and hang with new friends, go to fun places, all that, right? So that's the thing. That's the steps, right? The 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. You got to think about where you want to be in your life, where you are in your life, get clear on that. And then think about all the qualities that you want in the person that is most appropriate for you next. And for me, that is a man who is not a bachelor, but a man who is a husband. A man who is not just about loyalty, but a man who is about commitment. So, as I'm dating now, right, I am coming at it with that energy. I'm very clear about what I want. So, I bring that out with me in the world. And so, what do I attract? A guy who is into commitment. And how do I know this? Well, because I asked him, when was your last most serious relationship? And he said, I ended an engagement a year ago. A year ago, ended a relationship that was engagement, meaning the man's got the cojones to at least propose to a woman. Why? Because he wants to be married. But that particular woman didn't work out, so he ended it. He had enough self-love to say, okay, you know what? I definitely want to be married. I'm ready for that, but I don't know if this is the girl for me. So I'm just gonna end it and then crank up on love again. See? Amazing, resilient. So this person had his whole other life going on. His whole other life going on a year ago, all the way California. I was in a whole other relationship a year ago. So here he is, his world is organizing itself for him. And then I'm on opposite coast, Florida. My life is organizing itself, right? It's two separate people living life, and then COVID happens. Oh my God. So COVID happened. He had already broken up with the ex-girlfriend, but then he was like, I'm not quite feeling California anymore. And he moved here, Sarasota. Could have picked anywhere. Could have picked Miami, Orlando, could have been anything. And when I asked him, I'm like, what made you pick Sarasota? He said, I didn't want to, said exactly the same thing I said about why I left Miami. He was leaving San Diego. And I said, why did you leave San Diego to come to Sarasota? Like, why wouldn't you go to Miami? And he said the same thing. He said, I didn't want to be in a super big city. I wanted to be in a cool little beach town that was chill with kind of a downtown, like a vibe, but nothing so big and overwhelming. And I'm like, that's exactly what I felt. I was in Miami. I'm from New York my whole life. I wanted chill. And I found that here in Sarasota. So, point is, when you are clear about what it is you want and you believe that it exists, then you need to ask the right questions and you need to feel your way to people and be like, is this guy a bachelor? Because I just ended a relationship with a bachelor. I know what a bachelor is. Bachelor is a guy who could be very loyal, very generous, super kind, but that guy is not getting married, period, end of story. He does not even want to live with you. If he does, they'll make comments like this, okay? I'll give you the comments. A bachelor will say something like, half joking but serious, if we move in together, I'm gonna want my own wing. Who says that? I'm gonna want my own wing. Maybe I'll even have my own bedroom. Really? No. So that's a bachelor. Another trait, another sign that you're with a bachelor is if you're in their space, like if you, let's say, go to their place and they're watching TV and you're watching TV too, but you go on your phone and you might be listening to something else, they get so irritated with you, they'll tell you to put on your earbuds. They'll be like, baby, put on your earbuds. And you're just and then, not even only in their house, they'll come to your house and do the same shit. And you're sitting there did this motherfucker just tell me to put my earbuds on in my own goddamn house? I'm sorry. So when you're in it, you're not really paying, you're half paying attention to it, right? You're just kind of oh yeah, I should be considerate. You take it. This is so normal, especially for women. We're so used to acquiescing to being nice and being amenable. Oh, that's rude. Yeah, he's trying to watch something on TV and I'm sitting here with my TikTok videos and all this ridiculous. And I'll put on my earbuds, right? But then when you're out of it, oh my God, or not even out of it, because this is what happened for me. When I started to realize that my ex-boyfriend was a bachelor, I started to get really turned off. And in the beginning, I didn't care. But once I realized that I wanted something else and something more, and I had it in me to give, you want to give that immediately, right? So when you realize, damn, I am wifey. I am wife, woman. I have it in me to be a queen to a king. I want to build something incredible. Ooh, somebody said you're the best. Oh my God, I love that. Thank you. Who said that to me? I can't see. Oh, Kathleen, my love. Thank you. You're the best. What else do you say? I'm going to message you once I get there. You're coming to Sarasota? Oh my God. It won't be for a couple of months. I'm definitely hitting you up. I'm headed down to West Palm in 3 weeks. Oh my God, people coming to Florida. I love that. Yeah, look me up. I love that. If anybody watching this comes to the Gulf Coast of Florida, drop me a note. I always like going out for a cocktail, meeting my viewers, seeing my people, loving up on my tribe. And sometimes people want to meet me in person before they hire me as coach. Totally fine. I don't know why. Maybe they want to see how tall I am. I'm very little. I come across taller on video. People find me in person. They're like, oh my God, you're so little. It's because I'm 5'3". But the energy is 6'4". So anyway, back to this thing about bachelor. So yeah, Pay attention to that stuff, right? And also pay attention to this. When you're in a relationship and it's over 2.5 years, and they talk about something that they bought for the house and then suggest that you buy the same thing too, that's a sign. That's a sign that this person does not see his life merging with you. So I'll give you an example. A few weeks before I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, he told me that he got a foodie ninja. It's amazing, this thing. And he's like, you have to get this. This thing is amazing. And I'm like, but you got it. And he's like, right, but you need one too, because like you live in Sarasota, I live in Miami. You have to get this thing. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. And I'm just like, well, why would I want 2 of them? See, I'm thinking merging lives. Why would I buy a foodie ninja for $300 when you already bought one? A husband would say, babe, I got the coolest thing. I bought a foodie ninja. It is amazing. I'm going to cook a bunch of stuff with it, and I'm going to bring it, the food prepared, next time I come see you. And we'll just reheat it at your place. Because you have to taste how delicious this thing comes. And then, when we move in together, I'll bring it. We'll have it. And then, you'll have to learn how to use it. I'll teach you. That's husband. That's somebody who's like, I want to merge my life with you. I bought this thing. I'm starting to build up a little here. Right? Like that. Do you see the difference? But a lot of women don't. Right? So as soon as I caught on to that, because it wasn't about him, he was consistent through the whole thing. He was exactly the man I met 4.5 years ago. Never changed, nothing, right? So the beef wasn't with him. There was no beef. I evolved. I went from somebody who was cool with just like, oh yeah, this guy's cool and let's just hang out and see where this goes, to, all right, bro, I'm in this 4.5 years. Like, what are we going to do? Because now I feel it in me that I'm like, wow, like I have more to give than just being a girlfriend who lives 3 hours away. So point is, be clear about what you want. And the second you realize in yourself that you want more, if you don't do something about that, you're selling out. Don't sell out. Don't settle. Don't sell yourself out. You're being called by what I believe God to call you forward to give of yourself in a profound way to another person. And it's probably for your soul's evolution. So in relationships, we connect with people to evolve our souls. And sometimes we can only go to a certain distance with them. And then we have to evolve more, and we need to do that with somebody else. So that said, I am a manifesting machine when it comes to men, honey, because I know the difference between a bachelor and a husband. And, it's really interesting to see how it all plays out. And it's interesting to know the kind of questions that you have to ask somebody, open-ended, no judgment, nothing, but to be very clear about where you're at and what you're looking for. And when you are and you own it, your counterpart shows up. Just like that. Pretty cool. So if you're interested in any of this and you want to learn how to manifest yourself a husband, to date with power and purpose, to get clear on what it is you want so that you're not dicking around, wasting time on non-committal people who are not available, or just people who aren't where you're at, right? And then you're going to be in this for 6 months, a year, and then all of a sudden you have this conversation, you're like, oh, I'm in love with you, I fell in love with you. Oh, but we want different things. You don't want to do that. You want to do it soon, up front. Life is too short. It can't be, drifting around. You got to be really clear about where you are in your life and what you have to give to another person. And you know what? People come in and they go, and they come in and they go, and you learn something every time. And so wish everybody love and light. Don't carry any resentments, any ickiness about any exes, no resentment, nothing. Just like, hey, we mixed it up for however much we did, and I love you for it. And I always have like yummy warmth in my heart when it comes to you. But like, bro, I gotta go. So I am Lisa the Love Coach. I hope this helped you so much. You can find me at Lisa the Love Coach on Instagram if that's your jam. Otherwise, you can hit me up at lovequestcoaching.com, where you can get a free love life assessment with me. And you can also learn about the different programs that I offer in my coaching practice. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful evening and see you soon.